Do it myself. Hello. How's everyone doing? Hello. This is Sandy from Doux Designs, and I am just giving it a few minutes for some people to pop on and join up with me. For tonight's amazing live. I have a few things going on here. Hey, Susie. I'm trying to tag everybody. There we go. All right. So what happened was I didn't realize that I had changed the time. So, hey, Evelyn. I don't know why I was thinking that I always went at 8:30, but for some reason, I guess going on vacation messed up my head. Um, but today and Tuesday we went on at 8:30, but going forward we're going to go back to 8 o'clock. I don't know why I changed that, but we're going to go back to 8 o'clock. So next week it'll be at 8 o'clock. Oh, it looks like my camera is crooked, so hold on. Let me fix that. All right, so let's talk about what we're going to do tonight. So tonight we are going to use the Happie Jam stamp set. Hello, Cheryl. And we are going to do, hi, Ellen. Hi, Beth. We're going to do this guy right here because I want to use another really cool die set that I have from Scrappy Boy because it's just so amazing. So, look, it's like a boom box. It's not like a boombox. It is a boombox. Anyway, has a lot of pieces. I think it'll be really cool. I'm going to actually make it like a postcard, so it won't be open like a card. It'll just be right on the back. And then we're going to use this guy right here because I think he's perfect for doing some announcing on the radio, you know, because it'll just be fun that way. And I'm going to use the Boogie Down paper pad. I'm going to actually use this one right here that shows like an equalizer because that kind of fits in with the whole theme. So those are the products I am going to use tonight. I am very excited about this. I have been wanting to use this die for quite some time, so I'm really excited that it works really great. So I already have my little guy right here. I already cut him out so we wouldn't have to worry about that. So I'm happy about that. Let me zoom in so you'll be able to really see what's going on. I'm now laughing at my kit. It decided to go gambling, I think. I was sent to Shreveport. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. So hello, Tammy. Hello, everyone. So this is the guy that we're going to color tonight. And I'm going to use a different dark skin tone color than what I used on Tuesday night. Because I feel like we just need to see all of the different ways that we can do that. I think that was as far in as I could zoom. But I wanted to double check just to see. So hopefully you guys can see that pretty good. I am going to tell you before I start that whenever I do glasses, I usually make the skin under the glasses a little bit lighter because of the reflection. And I haven't decided tonight if I'm going to make them smoky gray or if I'm just going to leave them as regular glasses. So we'll see, and I'll show you how that's going to go here in just a little bit. Hey, Desiree. So I'm going to go ahead and get started so you guys don't have to wait around much. I did already cut the dyed pieces out. There are a lot of pieces, as you can see here, but it's not difficult. And we are going to go through the assembly and how many of each one that I cut and so forth. So there's that for sure. And then, look, I'm going to darken it a little bit. Okay, so the color combination I'm going to use tonight is I'm going to use E00 as my base coat. And then I'm going to use the E20s. So E29, 27, 25, and 23. I'm going to grab an R12 for the cheeks. Even though you won't really be able to see it, it will give it a little bit of a fleshy tone around the cheeks. It won't look rosy like blush, but it will give a little bit of color to the cheeks, and I want to do that. So we're going to do that. Hey Beth, hey Patty. So here we go. And I'm going to put that blush on pretty early, so I can cover it up with all the other colors. But I'm going to go ahead and put this E00 on the entire face. And I'll tell you that the reason I chose E00 instead of E000 is, one, the colors are going to be darker, so I need that undertone color. And two, the colors that I chose, the E20s, they don't have a lot of the peachy flesh color in them, so it kind of needs this little bit of extra tone in order to make it look more realistic. So he kind of has his little shirt open, his chest is kind of hanging out here, so he's feeling suave. And then so I had to do his chest, and then we're going to do his hands, and then, oh no, we can't see any legs, so that's it. And we can only see one eye. Let me see if I can turn this, because you should be able to see that color on there. I'm going to try to turn these lights down just a little bit. There we go. Oh, almost. Almost. I don't know why I'm almost in the dark now, but I'm still trying to see what I'm doing. So let me see if there's a way, maybe I can change one of these to darken the color a little bit, the screen a little bit, so you can see it better. We'll see. I mean, he definitely has flesh color on there. See it? There we go. Okay, perfect. I don't know why the camera is kind of messing with that a little bit tonight, but that's okay. We'll be able to see it all as we go through the process. Oh, Reagan's testing her camera. He's a proper medallion man. Ah, yes. I'm going to put a little bit of this blush on his cheeks. Again, you probably won't be able to see much of it once we get done, but for now we're going to put that little undercoat of that. And then I'm going to start with E29. This is very dark, so don't be scared of it. It's going to look like way too dark when we start out, but I promise it's going to work out. So I'm just going to put it around his hairline. He does have little sideburns here. I don't want to cover them up, so I'm going to be a little careful when I go around that side. I don't want to do it under his glasses, so I'm not going to put anything there. But I do like to put a little bit underneath his glasses just to show the shadow. And we're going to do just a little bit on that side of his face. And then we're going to do a little bit under his neck, but not too much. And then I'm going to do one side of his shirt. Just one side to show a little bit of shadow on that side. And then I'm going to do his hand, kind of where it's in the pocket and then where the shirt is covering it. So I'm definitely holding my marker upright. I'm definitely trying to get very thin lines. That's actually his shirt, so I'm not going to color that. I'll put a little bit over where his thumb is. And then I'm going to stop with this color. I want that dark color in there, but I don't want too much of it because it'll overpower the whole picture. So, there we go. Well, I got to get used to exactly where my camera is so I don't go off camera. You guys can yell at me if I do. E27 is next, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull from where I put that original color down into the forehead, and then I'm just going to keep going around wherever I put that darkest color and extending it out a little bit. I am going to put it under the sideburn and then come down the side of his face a bit. I'm going to turn him so you can see a little better while I'm doing it. And then over here, I'm going to put just a teeny bit, but not much. I don't want to mess with that side just yet. And then we're going to do just a little bit more on this side where we put the darkest part. And then I'm going to put a little bit of this up here on that side. And then we're going to just spread out a little bit on his hand. These are very small spaces, so we don't really have to do a lot. Just a little bit in there will get it going for you. And then that's it. Next, we're going to move on to E25, which is significantly lighter, so I'm okay with doing a bit more with this color. So I'm going to continue to extend down his forehead almost to his glasses, and you'll be able to see this line here, so I'm going to work that line a little bit and smooth that out because I don't want him to have big lines in the middle of his skin. Then I'm going to go up underneath his glasses and just start working the cheeks, and then I'm going to do the other side, same thing. I'm going to do the bridge of his nose where the glasses are. And then he's going to look real funny. I'm going to do a bit on his ear. And then I'm going to do quite a bit on his neck this time. So both sides coming down here. We're going to extend on this side. We're going to leave a little bit, just little tiny spaces there so that we can use the lightest color on that. A little bit on his hand. We're going to fill in some of this. I'm probably going to leave his knuckles for the lightest color. The rest of it I'll fill in. So now I'm going to use this marker just a little bit on his glasses. So I'm going to do just up underneath the rim of the top of his glasses, and that's it. No more. I know this camera, I don't know why it makes it look orange. It really is not, I promise. It's not orange. It is brown. But for some reason, this camera, I don't know why the coloring looks so funny, but I think Dale's going to try to fix that. Okay, so I'm going to use E23, and I'm going to extend down a little bit further. Oh, that helped. That did help. But you can see this line, so I'm going to just go over this one more time just to kind of smooth that out. And then I'm going to keep going down his face. I'm going to do his ear. And I'm kind of going over all of it with this color. This color has more colorless blender, so it's going to smooth out and push some of that dark color away. So I want to make sure it all blends nicely together. Now what you have to remember with these really dark colors is if you still have lines on there, you don't want to keep going over it too much with this, because if you let it dry, it's going to darken the color, and with skin like this, you don't want to get it too dark. So you want to be careful. I'm going to go back and forth and finish right up here by his chain he has around his neck. Then underneath his little medallion. And on the other side. So that we have that nice smooth look here. And then I'm going to finish his hand. That should finish that off. And then the top of his knuckles. And then I'm just going to blend everything together with this color. Now for the eyes, this is the color that I'm going to use for the inside of his glasses. I'll always use the lightest color so that it stays lighter underneath. Because there would be some reflection from his glasses. Me wearing glasses, I know it's always lighter under my glasses, so I'd like to keep that. How you would color the glass. I wondered how you would color the glasses. I'm definitely rewatching this later. Oh yes, I don't put much underneath those glasses. As you can tell, I'm going to hold it up so you can really see it. But you can tell that there's a bit of a dark right under the top of his glasses where I put that second to the last color and then the last color under his glasses. Now if we go over it and make them smoky colored glasses, then we'll go over everything because you want it all to be gray behind it. I colored him last night and I thought it was his t-shirt, not his skin. Yeah, you know, you could color it that way and you'd probably be okay. I bet it still looks good. Okay, so I'm gonna do his eyes with the same brown colors, but I'm only going to use E27 and E23, and then I'm going to use the 00, the G00 to kind of add just a little bit of green in there. It'll make him look a little bit hazel versus just the same brown as his skin. And I know that's a very small area and you can't see it that well while we're doing this, but I'll get there, I promise. You'll be able to see it in the end results. So I'm going to grab that G00 so I can just go underneath the eyes, and it'll be a little bit easier to see once we go over the whole thing with the eyeball with the black. You know how we always do at the end. Okay, now we have to do his lips because right now he looks really funny with some really white lips. I like to add a little bit of color. I don't like it to just be the brown colors that we worked with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this E04. We use this as the darkest color for skin tone for the white people, and then I'm going to put it just in the side, on the sides of his lips, just to give it a little bit darker on the sides. And then I'm going to use the E23 that we used around his eyes, and I'm going to blend those two together for his lips. So his lips will be slightly darker than the rest of them, but not too much to look like he has lipstick on. I don't want him to have lipstick, but his big white teeth are shining, so we're just going to leave those right where they are. Okay, so next I'm going to conquer the hair before we do the outfit, but I'm just going to tell you ahead of time, if you're planning on staying the whole time, that we are putting him in a purple outfit, so it is going to be rockin' awesome. So stick around. Okay, so this hair, we're going to do this is his afro look, like the really big hair. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with the darkest color, which I'm going to use 100. But I'm going to tell you that normally when I do this type of hair, I usually use the W's. But I'm going to actually mix them tonight. I'm going to just go every other one. So I'm going to start with 100, which is a cool black, and then I'm going to go to W9, and then I'm going to go to C7, and then I'm going to go to W6. So warm, cool, I want to mix them. That way I don't get a totally warm hair or a totally cool. I kind of get that mixture of both. I like to do that. So I'm going to start out by doing right up close to his face. And I'm going to do a few of these brush strokes, just kind of following the artist drawn lines at first. Don't worry, this hairstyle is going to be way different than what we normally do. But this is how I'm going to start. It is a little similar to the same way I do other hair. But I want to get that up close to his face done in the dark color. So I'm going to do this little sideburn right here. I'm not going to do the one on this side because, again, it's going to be behind glasses. So I'm going to stay on the opposite side of the glasses. I will come back and color that in, but I'm not going to do it right this second. Okay, so now all in his hair, it's going to be curls. So I'm going to start from the underside here, and I'm going to put just a few of these little nicks wherever the hair is coming in. And I'm going to turn him so I can keep those going in the direction of his head and the way his hair would be. So as we go around, we're going to start shifting our brush strokes. Up here, they're going to go kind of straight down. And then over here, as we start getting down the side, we're going to start curving them a little bit so they'll be a little bit in the direction of the hair, even though this is going to be going in all the directions. So now he just kind of looks like he has this huge brain. Just kidding. Hey, Phyllis. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make little circles. And sometimes I'm going to touch the paper and sometimes I'm not. And sometimes I'm going to rotate right and sometimes I'm going to rotate left. And I want these to be very small left and right circles. So sometimes I'm going to touch the paper and sometimes I'm not. This is just to get the base swirls in there in this darkest color. Sometimes I go back and put more swirls in after I'm done with the rest of the coloring, but for now we're going to start off with just that. So it looks kind of crazy, but it'll come together, I promise. Okay, let me see if I can hold this up so you guys can see, because it's looking like it's pretty far away, so you guys might be struggling with seeing. So see how that is? Just some little squiggles all over the place. It looks like I missed his eyebrow. Hold on. There we go. It looks like I'm going to grab the 25, and it looks like I missed, like, here just looks too light when I hold it up, so I'm just going to darken that a tad. Alright, now like we said, we're going to switch now to W9. Squiggly, squiggly, squiggly. That's right. W9 is the one we're going to use next. Now this one is still significantly dark, so I'm going to do the in-between. Like wherever I put those lines, I'm going to do the outside of the hair in between so that I can at least get the dark on the outside of the hair. I want it to look like, you know, there's some shadow on the back side of his hair. So I'm just going to keep going around till I get that base coat on there. And then I'm going to go back to where we started before, which was up close to his head. And I'm going to do some of these little brush strokes in the spots I skipped. Not all of them, but some of them. Just to get a little bit more coloring right around his face. A little bit more depth right around his face. I'm going to finish that sideburn. I want that to stay pretty dark. And under his ear, I think I'm going to keep that dark as well. And then I'm going to start doing that circle thing again, only I'm going to try to do it in spots that look more white. So I'm starting to fill in the white spaces. We just want this to look a little bit more full. So some of my circles go right and some go left, and I'm even doing them very close to the edge of his hair. You want some light and some dark in his hair, so you don't want to fill in all this space. You still want to leave it fairly open. I bet he has harebrained ideas. That's funny. Yep, I bet you're right. Okay, so with C7, now we're back to cool. It's cool gray, C7. This is the one where I'm going to go ahead and do underneath his glasses and right up against his face. Now that bottom piece right there, that's his ear, and I missed that, so I'm going to grab that E25 again and fill in that little ear spot right there so we can have that done. And then what I'm going to do with C7 is I'm not going to go around any of the edges like I did before. I'm just going to start filling in circular motions some of the more white areas. So we're starting to eliminate the white areas by doing these little curly cues all over. I mean, it makes a difference. It really makes a difference rather than just doing straight coloring or just filling it in. It makes a difference if you take the time to do these little circles. It definitely makes it look like it's more natural. So I'm just picking spots where the white is like more prominent. And then when I get most of it filled in pretty good, I'm going to stop. Now the last step that we're going to do, I'm going to switch it up a bit. This is going to be W6. We are not going to do circles this time. We're going to just dab wherever the white is. So you don't want to do it too much, but you also don't want to wash out any of those little squigglies that you made earlier. So I'm using the side of the marker and I'm just touching wherever the white is. It does seem like you could just go over it, but if you just go over it and just wash over it, you'll lose all of these curly cues that we deliberately put in there. And I don't want to lose them. I want this hair to look the way it is. So while this process takes a little bit of time to do, it's so worth it in the end. The results look so good. They look so good. So even from where your perspective is, I think you can still see that there are all those little squiggly lines in there. Squiggly, squiggly, squiggly. And then just to enhance that, we're going to do one more step. And I'll show you what that is as soon as I finish filling in this white. Again, this takes a little bit of time, but it's so, the look is so worth it in the end. Okay, here we go. We're almost there. We're almost there, you guys. We're almost there. And these are the most challenging parts, skin and hair. So we are almost done. So there is the amazing hair. Doesn't it look good? So sometimes, because that color was so light and kind of washes it out just a little bit, putting all that in there, look at how good that looks. That looks really good. But we're gonna go one step further real quick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that 100 one more time. You see how I'm working the hair? Yay! And then we're going to take this dark color and we're just going to extremely lightly touch the paper and just add a few more of the really dark colors back in there. So I'm not touching the paper the whole time. I'm just hovering over top and adding just a little bit of extra of the darkest color back into the hair design. You kind of lose it when you go over it a few times with the lighter colors. So I just want to get that dark, deep dark color back in. And it really does make a difference, just that one last step. And it's a whole lot easier to see all that depth. And you see all that? When I colored him, I went over his whole hair with my lightest color and then added dots of darker color. So a slightly different approach. Yes, you can definitely do it that way. Totally up to you. There are several ways to do this, which is going to help because we have several more images to color. So in the next week or two, while we're doing all of the new release images, you'll be able to see the different, I'll use different methods whenever I'm doing the hair so you can see the different ways that you can do it. But you can mix and match. You could do this with the girl's hair if you wanted, but when we color the girl, and what I mean by the girl is this one, when we color her, we're not going to do it this way. We're going to do a different process, just so you can see the multiple ways that you can color the hair. So that's the hair. I'm all done. I like it. I'm happy with how it looks. It's very curly. It looks very cool. And I'm going to wait on the shoes because I haven't decided if I want the shoes to be purple like the outfit or if I want them to be a more black color. So, you love the definition? Me too. I love it. It looks really good. I'm very happy with it. So I'm trying to stick with the colors that I've chosen from the papers. So these are the paper colors. So there's like a light blue, lime green, and a purple. So that is why I have chosen the light blue. And I'm going to do his shirt in the light blue. So his shirt would be this part right here that's up against his body right here. And then this side. And then way down here, we're going to do a little bit. Just right down there. And then that's like the collar part. And then this over here, I'm going to put a little bit right there. But over here, I'm going to do this whole side. Kind of like we did with the neck. Remember, we did the neck more on this side. We want more of the shadow on that side. So we put it there. Hi, Tamara. And that was B04. And then we're going to use B02. Basically because I'm trying to match to this blue, something similar to this light blue. So that's why we're not doing it as dark as I normally would. So I'm going to go down. Just extending a little bit, leaving a teeny bit for the highlight. And we're going to go this way. I'm going to put a little line where the shirt meets up. I'm going to come out here. And I'm going to leave it like that. Hello, hello. Okay, and then this B00, I'm going to start from the outside and go into. If you watch a lot, you'll know that I do that so I don't drag any of the dark color into the lightest area because I want to keep it light. For this, I'm going to do this side and then I'm going to do this side. Just I really want to keep that part up there really light. I want his shirt to look like a really light blue. I think we're gonna make his microphone blue too. So the part he talks into will be gray, but I think for the actual microphone, let's just make him really boogieing out. So I'm gonna do this in the darkest color, and then I'm gonna put a little bit here and a little bit here. This was the B04 again. Then we're going to go to the B02. And I'm going to extend a little bit further on that. And then we're going to go to the B00. And we're going to finish the top of the handle. And then we're going to finish this part right here. And then we'll come back with a gray color for the actual microphone. Okay, now I forgot a spot. Okay, so he has a shirt on. This is his coat, and then his shirt is showing down here in this, the little part that's sticking out from his jacket. So we need to put a little bit of blue down here. It's the same thing on this side too. It shows a little bit of that long sleeve shirt. Now, you can do that however you want, but that was my intent when I drew it, was to leave that little bit of shirt showing right here, just to break up the color a little bit. So we're going to finish that off right there. That one's darker because it's hidden under his hand, so I'm good with that. And just for some super fun, let's put a little bit of blue on his shoes too, because we're going to make him going all out. So I'm just going to put blue on this part right here. Even if I end up making his shoes black, I want to have just a little bit of that rockin' electric blue on his shoes. His shirt cuff. That is correct. His shirt cuff. You guys are so good with the official names, but when I'm coloring, I can't come up with them names. I just say, oh, this little part, that little part. Because for some reason on the fly, those words just don't come to me easily. And that's okay. That's why you guys can help me out. Okay, last one is B00, and that's where I'm going to blend out this blue. There we go. All right, perfect. Look at him. He is already slick and smooth. Okay, next we're going to do him in a purple outfit. I think it'll be awesome. So, because I love purple, so why not? My brain is too busy with coloring. I can't think of those words. You are so right. So I'm going to use the V09, V17, V06, and V15 combination because it's my favorite and it will match the paper we chose. It'll give us pretty close to this purplish color right there. So I'm going to start out with this darkest color, and I definitely want his waistband to be darker than the rest of his outfit. So I'm going to start there and fill in quite a bit on that part. I'm going to make his coat and his pants all in purple. So I just want to let you know that ahead of time. I usually, when I color this, I usually make the lapels a lighter color up here, but I'm not going to do that tonight. I am going to build in a little bit of color here, so I'm going to just make this line right here. It's going to look a little funny right now, but you'll see what I'm doing here in a minute. I want to make the trim of his coat a little bit lighter, so I'm going to start coloring in. But I'm going to leave that little bit of an outside part with no color on it for right now. And then his coat also goes up here and right here. And then I'm going to start doing all the shadow areas, like just little areas that would have the darkest. So that coat overlaps right there. He's got some wrinkles in his shoulder or his elbow, a little bit around here, and then underneath where the underside of the coat would be the darkest color as well. Up against his skin, his waist would be dark. Also going to put some in there. So I'm really just outlining the part that I really want to be in there. Dre is on the way home. Hey, be safe. Can't see it's going to look like velvet when you're... you can see it's going to look like velvet. I am so excited. I hope it does. Yay, I'm glad you're home safe, Mom. Nikki is Nicole on here. Hello, Nikki. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to do underneath the pocket. I'm going to do the same thing with the pockets. I'm going to put a little bit of this dark color in there and just kind of leave the outer part alone so it can be lighter. And then underneath his hand here, just going to put a little bit there. This side right here, I'm going to give him a little bit of a wrinkle there. Underneath his coat, I'm going to put more here. This shows his hand in his pocket. So I'm just going to emphasize that. I'm going to extend a little bit down here. I'm going to do the darkest right here, but I'm going to leave that outside for a little reflection as well. Normally I do that inside the darkest color, but I'm going to play around with that tonight and see if I like it. So I'll do the inside the second color. Then I want to put these artist drawn lines in there, because we for sure want those. And then right here, but I'm not going to put any right in the front at this point. So I think that's all I'm going to do with the purple for now. Okay, and then we're going to move to the V17. Ta-da! All right, and we're going to go back to where we were before, which is up here. And I'm going to fill that in because I want to keep that pretty dark. So I'm going to fill that part in. But I'm not going to do anything on the outside just yet. So I'm going to kind of fill in some of this around the edge. Not too much because this is still a really dark color. And I really want the next color to make it pop. So I'm not going to do too much with this color. But this is the primary color, so I am kind of going around the outside with it. Under here would be a little bit of dark. Under this lapel right here, a little bit more around the bottom. Come down here, we'll do along the bottom, a little bit more there. All that's in shadow, so I'm going to extend here. I think I'm going to finish the belt because I want that to stay darker than the rest of it. And then this part of his pocket, I'm just going to go down and up because I want that to stay darker because his hand's in his pocket. Just spreading out from there. I know, it's weird. I usually would normally do that part, but I'm really just trying a different little something to see how it turns out. And we'll see. I kind of want to put, since I'm going to be color changing, I'm going to be adding some pinkish color to this purple, that I want to put that lighter color along the edge because I think it'll just look so cool. You're excited to color him? He's fun. And it's not too challenging to color. I mean, this outfit's just like any other outfit that you would be coloring. It's just practicing the skin and hair. Once you got that, you're good. Okay, I'm going to go along the side of his, you know, pants closure, fly, whatever you want to call it. It's up to you. Call it whatever you want. All right, here we go with V06. I haven't decided on his necklace yet, so we've just left that alone. I think I'm going to use a gel pen for that. Again, I don't want to do the edge. I want to leave the edge lighter, so I'm going to start filling this one in and leaving just a highlight for the last color. Unless this outfit ends up being a little bit too pink, then I may have to come back in with a little bit of the purple and deepen it up, but we'll see. I think we'll be okay. I mean, I like that color, but it does look a little bit on the pink side. So we might need a little bit of more purple, but we'll see. There's always a way to adjust if you decide that you need to adjust the color. There's always ways to adjust. That was almost a song, you guys. Almost. I almost sang that to you. I can't help it. I mean, he has a microphone in his hand. It makes me want to sing out loud. It does. It does. It does. It does. I'm going to leave that pocket for the last color as well, so I'm not going to color that in. It will give it a lighter purpley color, and I think that's better than what we have going on right now. Now, I'm just going to do the whole back of that solid. It's going to be lighter, but it's going to give it a really cool look, I hope. That is the plan. I do want to finish this part. I don't like making that part draw attention. I don't want to draw attention to that area, so I'm just going to color that in. We're going to do one clean sweep on the back of this, just to keep that a little bit lighter than the rest. So it looks like he has like two-tone pants on. This is just cool like that. I think I need just a tad bit more out from here, so the blending's not as challenging. And then we're going to finish the pocket part right there, because that's going to stay a little bit darker than the rest of him because his hand is in it and shrinkled. He's so cool. Daddy cool. Woohoo! He is really cool. I like him. Okay, V15, that's the one that I want to go around the edges. And I may go over them again with the colorless blender just to lighten them up a bit more. But that was my plan. I want them to stay a little bit different color. And then I'm going to use this to blend. And this is going to deepen that purple. So we do have to go over what we already colored, because this is another color change. There we go. So we're just kind of blending it all together, nice and pretty like. I don't know, nice and handsome like is what I should say. This is not really pretty, it's really handsome. And then I'm going to add a little bit of this color into that deep color that I have right here, just so it matches. You know, you really want it to match. Isn't it cool? It's looking good. That is the purple color I was looking for. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm going to do this back and forth to blend all of these colors together. And I'm doing this with a fairly heavy hand because I really want that ink to saturate the paper. So a little bit more pressure there than I normally use, just to get that filled in. And then we're going to go down this side, but not over the pocket. Like, I want to leave the pocket alone. So back and forth, just getting that ink saturated in the paper. And then I'm going to do one clean sweep over this in the back and one over this, just so the color matches. And then he has this, he's so fly. Yes, for sure. I'm still trying to decide if I want the stone in his necklace to be purple or blue. I almost think it needs to be blue, but I'm not sure. So for right now, we're going to skip that while I think about it. And we're going to grab C9 and C6 to do his shoes. If we need C7, we'll pull that in. But I want the soles of his shoes to be black. And then I'll decide on the shoe itself, whether I want it to be purple or what. So we're just going to add a bit of this black for now. He's got big soles on his shoes. And I think I'm going to make them purple with a blue flap on them, like they're going to be two-tone. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use this 6 to blend these. So I'm going to do a little bit of back and forth there and here. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Get that color in there. I think I'm pretty happy with that. His gem should be blue. He needs chest hair. He's got a smooth chest. He's smooth rolling tonight. Okay, I'm going to work on those shoes. I think I'm going to skip the V09 and go to V17. And I'm going to put that underneath this little side panel right there. And then I'm going to do behind that side panel. And then I'm going to do right on this side, right up there, and right along that blue edge right there. Because I'm going to make part of his shoes blue and part purple. So I'm going to grab that V06 next, if I can find it. Hairy chests were definitely in fashion in the 90s. But if you can't grow hair, you can't grow hair. I mean, you know, not everybody. He didn't feel like having chest hair tonight. I mean, I could add, you would add it the same way that we added the top hair, was just a few little curls on his chest. I may try that sometime. I don't know that I want to do that right now, but I may try that sometime. Okay, V15 is the last color. I'm going to go over what I already did, smooth this out with more of a purple look, hope that it matches up with his outfit, which it does. Kind of blend that out. And then I'm going to grab those blue colors. Oops, I missed the lid and wrote all over my hand. It is a fun option. Okay, I'm going to grab the B04 that we used for his shirt. And I'm going to do that right up underneath his pant leg on both sides. And then I'm going to grab the B02. I'm going to leave just a very small piece for that last blending. So it's just a very small piece on the shoe. Oh, he is cool. He even has matching shoes. Check him out. He is cool. I hope this matches well with that paper that I have picked out, because I think that will be really neat. All right, and we said he needs to have a blue gem, so I'm going to use B02, and I'm just going to dot that right in the center, right there. I'm going to go back to the C9. No, I think I'm going to go to, I think we already have C7 out. Yep, we have C7 out already. So I'm going to use that one for the microphone. So I'm just going to go in from each side a little bit. And then I'm going to use the C6 to finish the microphone. There we go. I'm going to grab that colorless blender that I talked about, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to lighten up those edges of his suit. So this is the colorless blender. Just kind of going over those so I can lighten them up. There we go. I want to lighten this one up here a little bit. And I'm going to do this side. So it's just going to make them stand out just a little bit more than they already were. I'm going to do this one just a little bit more. Okay. And then we want to lighten up this as well. So I'm just using my colorless blender to lighten that up. There we go. Alright, so I know that was hard to see, but let me see if I can focus him in up close so you can see him. See him in all his dapperness going on there. All right, so let's do the glasses. I think I'm going to make them a little smoky, so I think I'm going to grab W. Let's do W3, and if we need to go darker, we can. Let me make sure. W3 might be too dark. Let's do W2. Oh, that's N5. I don't want to do that. All right, let me pull W3 because I pulled N5 instead. Okay, W3 is going to be fine. I'm going to stick with W3. So when we do these glasses, I'm literally going to go back and forth over his entire eye. Skin, eye, everything. Then I'm going to do this side. Because he is not going to have whites to his eyes if he has smoky glasses. Do you remember when, back in the 70s, when glasses used to get dark based on being outside or whatever? They would get darker when you're outside and lighter when you're inside. I don't know. I think my husband had glasses like that when he was a kid. I'm looking for my multi-liner. I don't know where it is. I had it earlier. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it. Did I put it over here? Oh, ho, 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 ho. All right. It's got to be one of these. There we go. All right. I still want his eyes to stand out, so I am going to color in the eyes with the black pen, and I'm still going to make the whites of his eyes stand out, but the rest of it's going to be pretty dark. I think that kind of washed out the brown in his eye, so I'm going to go back over that so it matches both sides. We'll wait for that to dry, and then we'll put the white gel pen in there. I think I want his necklace and stuff to be gold. So I'm going to use this Deco Gel Metallic Gold pen, and I'm going to do little dots all the way down where the necklace is. Unfortunately, they don't show up quite, the gold doesn't show up quite as well until you move the image around, and then you can see it. So it'll look like I'm not doing it, but I promise I am. Then I'm going to go around the medallion. Perfect. Happy about that. I will show that to you in a minute. We got to let it dry. Then I'm going to take the white gel pen and just do the little spots in his eyes so you can see them. And then I'll show you. Let's see if we can zoom this in a bit. You can see how the gold in the necklace like shines. So it gives him a shiny, shiny, shiny necklace. So I like that. I think that's cool. So he looks pretty good. We should give him gold buttons too, because why not? If we're giving him all the gold, he needs to have gold buttons on his shirt. So I'm going to go over the black with the gold buttons, and that way he'll have gold buttons on his shirt too, you know, because he's slick like that. All right, so now he's gonna dry, and we're gonna put together the project. Isn't that cool? Transition glasses, that's right. But see how they're not white, they're not clear, they look, the smoky color looks really good. I like it. So let's see if I zoom out. Okay. I can take all these markers that we used, which is not too many. A little more than I'd like, but that's how many. If you watch the replay on YouTube, I put all the colors in the description so you'll have it. Okay, we're going to set him aside so he can dry. I'm going to show you the dye that we're using one more time, just in case you weren't here at the beginning. This is Scrappy Boy dyes. Remember, we did one on Tuesday, but this one, look, it's going to be a jam, like a jam box. And since these are the Happie Jam stamps, we got to make the boom box. I'm going to use that paper from the Boogie Down paper pad. And here we go. So I cut all of the pieces out already. So here they are. Some of them are very tiny, so you have to be really careful. See that really tiny one there? But I'm going to show you real quick the die pieces and what I cut out. So you can see on this first sheet right here, there are 3 that come with, there's 2 borders that come with that die, that big die. So this one is the outside border. It's solid. So I cut that one in black, which is this one right here. And then the one in just inside, which is the matted frame, has it has those little dashes, so it does that little trim for you. I don't know why my brain can't tell me what that trim's called. But I cut 2 of them. You only need 1 for the front of the card, but I want 1 for the front, and I did that in green to match the pattern paper. And then I also want 1 for the back, so I can write my sentiment on the back. So I did 2 of those. And then the big piece right here, I did 1 of those, and I did it in the pattern paper. And if I turn it, you can see all of the embossed lines in there, so you can see where everything goes. You see that? So you don't really have to do a lot of guessing. It kind of shows you everything you need to do on there. And then again, there's a picture on the back that helps you with color coding. There's 2 different ways to do. You can either do the speakers like this, or you can do them like this. And I like that one, so we're doing that one tonight. And then we cut out some of these dies. So look, there's a lot of dies, but I knew that I wanted this one, this one, this one, all in the same color, so I cut them all at the same time. So I got this piece, and then I got this piece, so that's those dies right there. And then I got this piece right here. This is all the buttons. See the buttons? So you can play with your cassette. And then this one right here cuts the inside and a trim, and I wanted trim on my speakers, so I did those in black as well. And I chose my colors before I started, and then just picked as I went which ones I wanted to use. So I figured the accent pieces that I would need is there are 2 of these which have an embossed like meter on them, and then they have how much are you jamming tonight. So I have a little needle on here, so we'll need those. And then this is the piece that goes in between the 2 meters. So this is where you say what channel you want to listen to, unless you're listening to a tape deck. And then these are the pieces for the tape deck. So you have this triangle, and then you have this piece that actually works with the cassette. So it looks like there's a cassette in there. I originally cut them out in black, and then I was like, you can't even see that. So I went ahead and changed them to silver so you could see the pieces that are inside the tape deck part. Then I cut these circles again right here so I could have these shiny, sparkly pieces to go behind this, because I wanted it to sparkle, because why not? And then here's the trims that I cut. So these will actually go over this, and normally you'd just be able to see the black through it, but it's not as impactful as putting this shiny behind it. It makes it stand out a little more because you can see that shine in there. If I turn it the right way, you can see it. But in real life, you can really see that, the shine come through. So I'm going to shine up those. And then there's these other 2 marks. Let me show you. there's these two smaller speakers. There's one on this side and one on the other side. And when you cut them, they're just embossed. They don't open any holes. There's just little embossed design on there. And I like that. But I thought I would put the black outline on there. But I don't think that's going to be enough impact. So I also cut them in silver, and we can decide as we put it together if we think the sparkle needs to be there or not. So I have two sets of those, and we'll just figure that out as we go. And then this last piece right here goes right there, and then we'll have the whole thing put together. So I really just cut mostly one of everything except for these things over here. These needed two. These needed two. And these needed two, the white ones. So those are the only ones, the only pieces that you needed two. Everything else is one, except that I decided to put a white one on the back cover, so I cut two of those, but you don't really have to have two. So I'm going to move that up, move all that up, so I don't lose any of my cute little pieces. And I want to do a little stamping on this for the back. So I'm going to do that real quick. I want to do the little flower from the stamp set. This is the solid and this is the outline. So I chose this pink and purple combination that I think will look sort of like that. So I'm going to go over it with the light color. And I'm going to stamp it up in the corner. Ooh, is that the light color? Yeah, that is. No, I put the lid on the wrong one. Hold up. I almost did that with the wrong one. Hold on, let me clean this off. That was definitely the dark color, not the light color. Let's try that one more time. One more time. Okay, this is the light color. As you can see, much lighter than the one we had before. And I wanted to kind of put it up here in the corner. And then I thought the darker color over top of it, so I can have this little smiley face on there, would go right here nicely. So you really just have to look at it, kind of line it up. If you don't get it perfect, it's okay. But it does kind of line up, and since you can see through it, that makes it easy. Perfection. Look at that. So perfect and so cute. Now, I think what I'll do is go over the eyes with this with the silver gel pen. But for now, I just kind of wanted to have a little flower. And then I think at the bottom, down here, I'm just going to put two of the solid flowers. So I'm going to put one right here, and then I'm going to wipe it off, and I'm going to put the darker flower right here. I'll make sure I have enough ink on there. I'm going to put that one right there, and there we go. So now I have just a few little flowers on there. Does Scrappy Boy ship internationally? I'm not sure, but he does do amazing dies, that is for sure. I'm not sure if he does or not. You would have to check his site. I have never had to look that up. But I'm pretty sure he has a lot of followers from everywhere, so I would be surprised if he didn't. Okay, let's close these stamp pads and let me put the lids on the correct ones this time. Alright, and then we're going to assemble this, and it's going to be super fast. Are you ready? Here we go. So I'm going to grab my glue. I mean, he has some amazing dies. I don't usually buy a bunch of these types of put all the stuff together dies, but I really love these because you can make this into an album as well. So he has dies where you add an attachment on the end right here. It only sticks out about that far, and you can actually make this into a page for an album. and most of his dies are made that way, and I have those little pieces, so I definitely want to make albums with them. They're a great size. This is bigger than A2, which is why I didn't really make it into a card, because I don't really need a card. What I need is just one panel. I'm going to flip that over and use my soda press. If you don't have one of these, you probably ought to add one to your next order because they're simply amazing. I'm going to flip it over this way so that I make sure I don't put my little boombox together upside down, because that would really be a bummer. And I think I'm going to move it up just a little bit. I'm going to build everything on this, and then we'll attach it at one time. So let's go ahead and build on here. That way, if I make a mistake, I can always start over and I haven't ruined the base. So, yeah. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to attach this one. Yeah, he makes some cool dies, and some of these dies, I knew I would need them for something just absolutely perfect. And then when we did this release, I was like, oh, I am going to use those dies like crazy because this is so perfect. So there's just a slim border around it. The Barely Art glue lets me move it around until I get it placed just right. Just want to make sure my glue is holding well and spread out evenly. There we go. Okay, and I like this on there. It's so cool. You love the flower stamp. Been playing with that one all day. Oh, yay! I'm so glad you like it. I love it, but I wasn't sure if everyone else would. Okay, so this is the buttons that you push on. So I think they're supposed to go over the top. Hopefully they're not supposed to go behind. Nope, they are supposed to go over the top. So you can put them all the way down like this. I think that's what I'm going to do. Or you could put them up a little bit, but I think I'm going to put them all the way down. So I'm just going to put glue on this line right here because that's the part I want to glue to the paper. So I'm going to take that. I just don't want my paper to show above the line, so I'm just going to make sure I line that up. I accidentally touched the glue to the paper, but it dries clear, so we don't have to worry about it. Let's lift that up just a little bit so it stays even across the top. That looks really cool. So there's that piece, and then there's this long piece right here. This is the handle that goes across the top so you can grip your boombox. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one on there. I could have done that one in silver. I probably should have done it in silver, but oh well, it is what it is now. So I'm going to stick that there. It makes it pretty easy because there's like a curve in the design, so you can tell where this is supposed to be. There we go. Alright, so that's that piece. Now we have the piece that goes along here. Right here. This is the one that we're going to build the part where it has all of the, like, you know, when you were watching your radio and you pick a channel, this is the channel picker. Channel picker, is that a word? The dial, that's the word I was looking for. So before we put the center piece on, I think it'll be easier if we add these two end pieces first. That way I can make sure I have it centered in the right place. So I'm going to add these. What's this, a tachometer or something? What do they call this thing? Something like that. Black on black is always hard on my desk. Always. This on the dark desk, it's hard to see. Okay, I have a second one. I need to put that one on the other side. And while we're at it, I think we'll just add the red, the little red thing too while we're at it. There we go. Just make sure I got that lined up. Now I'm going to put this piece on there. I got two of those. I think I'm going to use my pickup tool to pick that up so I can easily pick that up and place it on my thing. I guess it doesn't really matter which direction you put it in. You can make them going up or down or whatever you want. So we'll have this one up a little high. We'll have this one kind of in the middle. I like my base loud. So we'll just put that on there. This is detail, but it's cute and it wasn't difficult to do. And then this piece goes in between, which is usually white when you have a jam box, but you know, whatever. So I'm going to put this one about right here and slide it if I need to. Make sure it's straight. It's pretty straight. So that gives me that whole panel piece that's going to go right there. So I'm going to put that on. So it goes right. There's an embossed area on here so I can see exactly where it's supposed to go. Look at that. Starting to come to life, you guys. Look at that. So cool. All right. I think I might have lost a little, one of these little silver thingies. I hope not, but I might have. Oh, there it is. Found it. I was worried about that. Okay, so those are going to go on the cassette that's right here, and I'm lifting up the paper so I can see the little embossed circles. And then this will be the bottom piece. And if I put the glue there and then pick up the items, I'll be able to see exactly where to put them, and that'll make it easier. This one's going to go right there. And then this one is going to go right here. Let me see. Do I have that in the right place? I do. What? Now it's a robot. It looks like a robot. It does look like a happy face right there, doesn't it? Like he's going to talk to you, this little robot guy. Then we're going to take this piece right here, which is the window for the cassette player. And we're going to place that one right here over top of the cassette piece. I mean, I was surprised. I thought there was supposed to be like a little cassette tape that you put in there, but I guess not. Although you could have cut this, like this one did cut an inside piece, so I could have made a tape deck to go in there, but I missed that. Maybe next time. And then this is a little speaker that goes underneath the cassette. It goes right here. Just like that. Right there. There we go. All right, now my favorite part. These are the cool little thingies. And I'm going to put both of them on there since I cut them both out, even though you won't see these blue ones, but it will help me line everything up. Do I have that upside down? Oh no, it's fine. Either way. So there's that one. If I wanted to leave it like that, I could, but it did give you the pieces to go a little more elaborate, which I decided to do. So that one goes right there. Stay on there. Takes a second for it to dry because that's glossy paper, but it will dry. Then I'm going to put these things on first. They're going to go right around the edge of the blue one that's there, and then we'll drop the silver one in it after we're done. So this goes on top. And see, once you put this on top, it just doesn't show that blue as well as I would like it to. So that's why I decided to put the silver inside, because I think it'll just look better. But that's just my opinion. Scrappy Boy doesn't ship internationally, which is a good thing for my bank balance. Oh, but I think you can get them at scrapbook.com, and I think they do. You can buy Scrappy Boy dies at scrapbook.com. So check there. They might ship international. Okay. There we go. So you could leave those, but I'm going to go, well, let's put the other ones on and we'll see what we think. How about that? So these speakers have to have this on the outside. So we're going to go ahead and attach those right here. So here's one. I'm going to pick it up and move it around until I get it right in the right spot. I'm going to press it together. I'll do the other one because, you know, we got to have two of them. I'm a big enabler. Sorry. But these are so great. I really like them. But you can just stick with your stamps from Doux Designs and make a different kind of background. Then everybody has whatever they want to do. I really want that to be on the edge. Okay. I think I didn't get that lined up quite exactly right, and it's going to drive me nuts. So I'm just going to trim off the little excess piece I have here, because it's not really going to matter either way, as long as you're close. There we go. That makes me happier. And then I'm going to put that one behind it. That silver behind it, because this is what it would look like on the paper. It's just not all that, like, stunning. So we're going to take this one and we're going to stick it behind. So in order to do that, because it's going to be a little challenging to line it up, probably needed, so I'm going to go ahead and stick this to that first. So I'm just going to put the glue in between the little speaker thingies. And it did cut out really well. I was concerned about all these little holes, but it really wasn't bad at all. Okay. I'll pick this up. I'll line this up. And then I'm going to squish it with my tool. Like this. I'm going to press and press and press and press, and then I'm going to leave it sitting there for a minute. And then we're going to do this one. As long as we get enough glue on this to hold to the glitter. It's hard to get this stuff to hold to the glitter, but we're going to try it anyway. I think it'll hold. It just takes a little bit extra time. go. Squish that down. We'll let that sit for a minute, but let me show you how sparkly that looks. I hope you can see it on camera because it's awesome. Look. It looks really good. So we're going to put that one on this side right here. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now I'm going to glue this piece right here over that circle, specifically specified for that spot. Then I'm going to take this one, and see, I think this is just too much blue. I think it needs the silver. I really think it needs the silver. So I'm going to put this one over here. Now I'm probably going to end up covering up some of this with my guy, but whatevs. At least we know it's built and it's cool. Okay. I think this looks better. Don't you? I think it does. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Yes, I am. And we're almost done. This one goes in here. Right there. It also makes it look a little dimensional like that because we have the flat one underneath and then this one on top, which is kind of cool. And we're going to stick this one on this side. You could do so many different designs. Now remember, it has this other design you could put there too if you didn't want to use the speakers. Okay, we're going to take this whole piece and we're going to attach it to our black piece, but we're going to make sure that we're right side up so we don't mess this up. And you could pop this up too if you really wanted to. And it would look pretty cool. So I'm going to take this, this on the black. It's so hard for me to see. Gotta hold it up so I can see if I got it lined up. Oh, I do. Alright, very nice. So we're going to rub that together. Make sure we got everything stuck together. And we're going to flip it over and look at that. Isn't that amazing? All by itself, it's so amazing. And that paper pad worked out perfectly. Now, we have our guy ready. And I kind of think he needs to go here. Not off to the edge, but kind of like here. And we need a sentiment on him. I don't know what we're going to put. Let's see what we got. Catch you on the flip side or peace, love, and happiness. Catch you on the flip side or peace, love, and happiness. I wish I had a song or something typed out that I could put on here because it does look like he's singing a little bit. He's the announcer. So maybe catch you on the flip side is cool. I like him right there. So I'm going to put him right there. Oh my gosh, this card is so cool. I really like it. Alright, sentiment. I need to stamp a sentiment because I don't have one yet. So, may your playlist be long and your worries short. I think I'm going to use that one. I kind of like that one. And I'm going to put it on this block since I was already using the block. I'm going to grab my VersaFine Claire in black. I could have done it in purple, but I'll do it in black. Oops, it's upside down. Well, I may have to stamp this twice because I think I stuck it too far down into the ink, but we'll see. If it comes out straight, we'll be good to go. Oh, peace, love, and happiness. Everyone likes peace, love, and happiness? Okay, let's do that one then. I do like peace, love, and happiness. But you could use either one. They're both pretty easy to get, and since you guys like that one, I'm going to switch to that one. Because how fun is that? Here we go. Peace, love, and happiness. All right. Here we go. Right there. The playlist is cool too. Maybe I'll put that one on the inside, on the back side. Because, you know, we got 2 places to put. So that's good enough for now. I'm going to close this off. Cut this out. I think I'll just hand cut it. Because why not, right? Hey, not too shabby right here. Not too shabby of a cutter. Where do I want to put it? Actually, this is off for sure. Definitely want it to look straight. I wonder if I could get this up underneath his. I think it would look really cool under. Oh good, I didn't even stick his microphone down all the way. Let's see if we can lift it up just a little bit. There we go. Then we can fit it right here. Perfectly. Yep, that's what we're going to do. And it will be perfect. So here we go. I want it right there. And then I'm going to glue his little microphone back down. There we go. I think we're going to cut this and put it on the back. Perfect, right? Need to cut just a tad bit more off this side. Awesome. Yep, that's what we're doing. Let's see, we used them both. It was perfect. Right here on the back. And there we go. Ta-da! We are finished. What do you guys think? Is that not the coolest? Look at that. How fun is that? And then on the back, so cute. That is awesome. I love it. The card is very cool. Thank you. I really, really love it, and I love this die. So if you're, I know they still carry this die in stock because I got it not very long ago. So just FYI, if you're interested, scrappyboystamps.com. And then if you don't have this stamp set yet and you want it, there are still a few bundles left in the shop, so you can save 15% by getting the bundle. And it will include this and the other stamps and the paper and stencils and all the good stuff. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you're watching this replay on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We really need to grow that channel a bit. And then I will be back next week on Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Central. I know I was 8:30 this week, but it'll be back to 8 p.m. Central next week. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend. If you're not doing anything Saturday night, come visit us. We're having a mystery craft along over at Crafty Ho Ho on YouTube. I will be there. All my friends will be there. If you're my friend, you should be there. Anyway, come join us. There'll be prizes and gifts and fun stuff going on. So, come and visit us and come and hang out with us. And I will see you guys on the flip side over at Crafty Ho Ho right now, which is where I'm going as soon as I leave here. And then thank you so much for joining me. I hope you loved this project. I did. And love you guys. Thank you. Good night.